Right, good evening. All of you are welcome to the seminar series of KB4. Right. I am Samir Anthony from BRD Silva and Company. Let's start the journey of audit. We have 9 days. Right. I am not expecting to cover entire syllabus, but I will try to give some idea about the auditing and how to face the exam. Basically, how to answer a question, how to face the exam, how to understand a question, and way of writing. Right? Okay. I think you have, all of you have the basic knowledge of auditing, and introduction part you have in KE4. Right? You have completed those part. I think all of you have completed KE4 subject. In your syllabus, entire syllabus can be divided into 3 areas. That is audit planning, gathering evidence, and the conclusion. That's your syllabus. Audit planning, gathering evidence, and the conclusion. Right? I am going to start with the audit planning process. Audit planning is not a small thing area, it's a big area. You have to consider more and more disciplines, more and more knowledge, more and more areas to make an audit plan. Therefore, I am going to start from that point because that is the starting point of audit planning. Then you have audit evidence gathering process, and finally conclusion, that is making the report with qualification or without qualification. Right? Today I am going to start with the audit plan. Okay. An audit, normally you know it's a examination of financial statement. The basic explanation, right? As the auditor, you will receive a set of financial statements to audit, right? Set of financial statements comprising income statement, statement of financial position, cash flow, changes in equity, note and policies. You will receive this set of financial statement, right? As the auditor, once you receive this set of financial statements, right? What you have to do? You have to start your audit. Then how you can start? I think you will get the required short notes while I explaining, right? I am not going to give notes or anything. If you want, you can take short notes on that. Once you get the financial statement as the auditor, you must start your audit. Then how? How you are going to start the audit? You have a few approaches. In an audit, the owners of the organization, they are the persons you are appointing at the AGM, right? They are expecting an opinion on financial statement prepared by the management, right? Then you have to examine on the financial statement. Obviously, you know, to prepare and present financial statement, there are set of accounting standard and other guidelines. Some rules and regulation coming from the Companies Act and other rules and SEC guidelines, central bank guidelines, everything. Then management responsible to present and prepare financial statement according to those rules. As the auditor, you must investigate that. You must examine that whether they properly prepared and presented financial statement. That's your responsibility, right? And the entire financial statements is the result of transaction events occurred during a specific period. Then as an approach, you can start your audit from the transactions. Normally in the accounting process, you know, accounting process is started with transaction and events. Then it will be recorded in source document. Then it will be recorded in subsidiary books. Then in the ledger accounts and trial balance and final accounts. This is the process. Then to examine the financial statement, you can start your financial examination process from the transaction and events from from beginning to end, entire process you can check. Got it? That's one approach you can apply. Clear? To examine this process, you know, transactions and events is the starting point, then source document, then subsidiary books, then ledger accounts, then trial balance and the financial statements. To examine this financial statement, you can start from this point, right? You can start from this point and up to then you can examine. That's one approach. That's approach we called balance sheet approach. Sorry, vouching approach. That means you are starting from the vouching. That is examination on source document. Clear? Then from beginning to end, entire process will be checked. That is vouching approach. Clear? Do you have enough time and resource to do that? No. You must complete your audit within 4 to 5 6 months. Right? You need to complete your audit. Then can you check, do you have enough resource and time to do this process? To examine all transaction event from beginning to end? No, you don't have. Therefore, this is not a effective approach, right? Then other approach, you can start from the balance sheet. That is the end. And you can check up to the beginning. In the vouching approach, you are starting from the beginning and ended with the end of the process. Or you can start from the balance sheet and you can check back to the process. Clear? Therefore, that process we call balance sheet approach. Now we are not calling balance sheet, but approach we can understand like that, balance sheet approach. Again you are going to check the entire accounting process from end to the beginning. Got it? Clear? Right? Then again you have the same problem, you don't have enough time to check every transaction and events from end to the beginning. Right? Again it is not an effective method, because you have to do more workings, more field works on the transaction and events when you are going to check from beginning to end or end to beginning. Right? Therefore, you should have an approach to do the audit efficiently and effectively, right, within short period of time by utilizing your resources and skills. Right? In other side, as a chartered accountant, you will face a gap, expectation gap. It's not a theory, expectation gap is not a theory. As a chartered accountant, as an auditor, what society expecting from you? Now, who is the appointer of you as the auditor? Shareholders of the company. Clear? Right. Now, shareholder expecting something from you. Society expecting something from you. Clear? And your mother institute, CS Sri Lanka, expecting something from you. And your personality, your thinking, expecting something from you. Clear? Those expectations of different parties is totally different. Why shareholders appointing you as an auditor of a financial statement of their own company? They need to make sure whether management carried out business activities properly or not. They need to ensure whether the management presented those financial activities properly or not. Right? But as a society, entire public will expect you will find out all fraud and errors. You will detect and disclose those fraud and errors. That is a public expectation. Right? Then what is the CS Sri Lanka, your mother institute expectation? They will expect you are a member of this organized institution, you must carry out your workings, engagements according to the code of ethics, best practices, right, and due care. Those are the expectations on Sri Lanka. But you know what you have to do, right? Now you have a huge confusion between the expectation of the society. Within these expectations gaps and the resource available and the skills you have, you must carry out your audit. Clear? Then this vouching approach and balance sheet approach, those are traditional approaches not suitable now for the current situation, right? In your audit, you must consider where the fraud and errors can be occurred. Therefore, you should have a systematic approach to start audit, because people waiting for you result, they are expecting something. If you can't detect some fraud or error during your audit, the expectation of the society, shareholders, other stakeholders may be diluted on you, right? Therefore, you should have a systematic approach. Therefore, the new approach we are applying on auditing is risk-based audit, risk-based approach. Got it? Risk-based approach, that is the method now we are practicing to plan audit and conduct audit. Conduct an audit. Clear? Right. What is risk-based approach? You are not going to examine entire financial statements, right? No, you are not going to examine entire transactions and events and all the balances. You are going to judge where possible misstatements can be included, and you are going to give your prioritization and more consideration for those areas. That's we call risk-based approach. Again, you are not going to give full consideration for all the transaction events and the balances. Got it? You are going to identify highly risky areas. Highly risky areas means the possible material misstatements in the financial statement. We are trying to identify those areas, right? Sometimes material misstatement can be included or cannot be included. You are going to judge in these areas, these areas it can be included, right? Then first of all, in your audit plan, you must identify those areas. Then you must plan your workings, gathering audit evidence gathering process on those selected area. Clear? That's the risk-based approach. Then today now I am going to explain how you have to carry out this process. Clear? Okay. Once you receive the financial statements, you must understand where the possible material misstatement can be included. Clear? Possible material misstatements in financial statements. You must identify those areas. Then you can plan your entire audit evidence gathering process only on these areas. Clear? Got it? Then how we are going to identify this? You have three methods, right? To understand possible areas to be considered in the audit, you already received the financial statement. Clear? Therefore, you can analyze those financial statements. Clear? Analysis of financial information. Clear? You can analyze financial information you received, because you received the financial statement from the client. How you can go into analyze? You have current year financial data, you have previous year comparative figures in the same financial statement, then you can compare. Clear? Or you can collect previous years also as well, then you can compare figures. Then based on your mathematical and statistical knowledge, you can analyze data, right? For example, sales. How sales trend in last 5 years? Clear? For example, I am talking about the first method. Take sales for 5 years. Right? Here sales. Then you can take the industry information also. Say, as a whole industry, sales growing like this. This is the industry pattern. Clear? Then as a single organization running on the same industry, should have a same pattern, right? Am I correct? That's your basic knowledge. When industry sales running like this, you also running on the same way because you are in the same industry. But when you put, this is the current financial year, say, right? This is the current financial year. Once you plotted your data into the same paragraph, you can see the sales having like this, right? Having like this. Now this is the client. Now do you feel in something here? Yeah, business not running properly according to the industry trend. Got it? Now you can imagine there is a problem with the sales. We don't know. It may be accounting error, understatement of sales. For example, lack of knowledge regarding revenue recognition. Clear? Because look at the deviation with the industry. This is one method of analyzing data. That's called trend analysis, right? Clear? I am talking about analyzing data of financial statements. One method, trend analysis. This is trend analysis. Got it? Right? Other method, ratio analysis. You can analyze ratios also. Take gross profit ratio, asset turnover ratio, debtors collection period, creditor settlement period, stock turnover period, and compare with the previous years or compare with the industry norms. Right? In the industry normally, debtors will settle their cash within 2 weeks, but you are getting 5 months. Do you have a problem there or not? Tell me. You are in a bakery industry. Your client is a bakery, right? Normally, debtors will settle their debt balances within 1 week because otherwise in the industry they are not supplying goods again to the customers, right? But in your client, they are getting 1 month. Is there any major difference or not? Yes. That's a ratio analysis, right? Then likewise, you can analyze financial statement. For this entire process, we call what is? Analytical review. Got it? This is the process of analytical review. Now we are talking how we identify areas that include possible material misstatements. One method is what? Analytical review. You can do it by using same set of financial statement you received. Clear? Right? One way. Then you can understand what are the areas to be audited. Now for the example, you must audit the sales deeply. You have issue there. Right. Then I am talking about the second method. Can I erase this? Right? I told you how many methods you have? 3. Now we completed 1. Second method, that's method you can divide into 2, that's why you have 3, right? Second method, not to analyze the financial data, you must analyze the environment which create that financial data. Got it what I am telling? Right? Now what is the first method? What is the first method? Identified possible material misstatement. Now tell me why we are going to identify possible material misstatements? Because we don't have enough time and skill and the resources to carry out entire 100% checked. Therefore, we are going to identify the possible areas that fraud and errors can be included. Identifying on that areas, we are going to audit on that area only. Therefore, we need to identify. To identify, one method is, you already received the financial statement, you can analyze financial data. Through the trend analysis, through the ratio analysis, comparison of figures, clear. Through everything you can analyze financial data and identify abnormal variances, abnormal deviations, abnormal presentations, got it? So one method to identify the areas that include fraud and errors, possible fraud and errors, right? That's called analytical review. That's the first method. The second method, now you analyze the financial statement you received. Then what should be the second method? Okay, simple example. You are going to marry in next month. Parents has proposed a person to you. Assume all of you are girls, right? Parents going to propose a person to you. Are you going to marry once they proposed? No. You must analyze him. You must understand him. Otherwise, don't marry him. Then how you can analyze him? What are the methods you have? You must familiar with him and understand him. That is just like analysis of financial statement. Then what is the second method? Tell me. Now girls can answer. Tell me how. How you can analyze? You must analyze his family background. You must analyze his villages, their neighbors, relatives, everything. That is not him, the environment he created. Got it? Therefore, you must do 2 things. You must analyze him and you must analyze the environment he created. Got it? Now tell me what is the second method here you have? You must analyze financial statement. Second method? The environment which create these financial statement you must analyze. Got it? Right. Therefore, you have to go back to the business. Get the business. This is the business. Business environment you must analyze. Got it? According to business studies, what's a business? It's a collection of processes. What are the processes in a business? Procurement. Suraj can see. Second, sales and cash collection, banking, PPE, inventory management, salary management. Those are the major processes in organization. Got it? I will tell again. Procurement, that is purchases, sales and cash collections, banking process, PPE and inventory management, salary management process. Those are the processes in organization. Then every transaction and events are a result of these processes, right? That's called internal control system, and you had equipped with these areas in KE4. Remember, you have 5 processes there to understand, right? What is the procurement method, what is the PPE management process, what is the inventory management process, what is the salary management process, everything in the KE4 syllabus, right? Then analyzing this internal environment, second point. Now I am talking about second point. Analyzing or reviewing internal control system, right? You can understand what are the possible areas which include fraud and errors. How? Once you analyze internal control system, what is internal control system? The rules and procedures established by the management to carry out business activities. Got it? The rules and procedures. If they have some weak rules and procedures there, if they don't have rules and procedures, that is the point that fraud and error can be occurred. Got it? If parent not going to ask question from you, where are going, what you did today, when parents not going to review yourself, definitely you will be a terrorist. Because no control over your parents, control over you by your parents. When parents having a control over by you, on you, you will be a better citizen, right? That's a normal norm in the society. That's why in a business, when you don't have proper control system over the actions and activities, they will make some fraud and errors in the system. Got it? When you don't have fingerprint system, employee never come at real time and never leave at the real time. Simple thing, then you have some errors and frauds there. Clear? Then that's the second method of to understand areas which include fraud and errors, possible areas. Clear? That is analysis of internal controls. Then to analyze internal control system, we call that is test of control. That is test of control. You are analyzing internal controls, right? I told you have three methods. Then what is the third one? What is the third method? Business is not a single organization running alone. It is not a closed system, it is a open system. It is running in the entire economy and the industry. They have bigger influence from the industry as well as the entire society. Therefore, business is not a individual person running alone, it's an open system. Therefore, around the business, they have two environments, micro environment and macro environment. Micro environment means what is? Industry. Macro environment means entire society, right? This is macro. In the micro environment, what are the factors performing in the micro environments? Simply say, porters, five forces: customers, suppliers, competitors, new entrants. Clear? Producers who produce in same products. Five forces you have in the industry, right? In the entire macroeconomics, what are the factors making influence to the business? That is pastel. Political factors, technological factors, economical factors, socio-cultural factors and legal factors. That's the entire society. Therefore, in the macro, you can identify pastel. Here, five forces. That is customers, suppliers, competitors, etc. Right? Now, third point is review external environment. Right? And you can understand that areas can be included fraud and errors. Clear? Now, I explain how it comes. Now this reviewing of both industry and the entire industry, simply we can say that is risk assessment. This is also a part of the risk assessment, right? But this entire analysis of entire environment, basically especially external environment, we can say that's a risk assessment, part of the risk assessment, right? Now I will tell some examples to you how this external environment and the internal environment influence to the business and the financial statement. This is the business, right? Okay, let's see. You are selling, example, right? Okay, right click and refresh your mind, right? Now you are in a fresh mind. You are selling what is? Mobile phones, smartphones, right? Your financial year ended with 31st March 2016. Normally, they may have a closing stock. What's the closing stock? Mobile phones. According to the accounting standards, what is the presentation criteria for it? Should be recorded at cost or NRV, whichever is low. Based on your accounting standard knowledge, you know it should be recorded at lower of cost or NRV. Mobile phone industry, what is the biggest factor make influence to the organization? Technological factor. Technology rapidly changing, right? Therefore, your closing stock may be outdated in tomorrow, day after tomorrow with a new product. Then always believe the NRV is always less than it is cost. Am I correct? But management may be recorded it at it is cost. Clear? How you can understand that? Now, what is the area we identified? What is the risk area? Closing stock may be overstated, because management may stated it at its cost, but it has a technological effect. Therefore, you must check NRV calculation properly as the auditor. Got it? That's how we identify the area to be audited, right? One example. Another example, right? Economic factor. What about the exchange rate against dollars today? Nearly 145. Right, say 145, assume, right? You have debtors, foreign debtors at 31st March 2016. They should be disclosed those debtors in rupees or dollars in their financial statement. Rupee. There, what is the requirement? They should convert it into rupee. They should use the closing rate at 31st March 2016. There may be overstatement or understatement by the management by using inappropriate rate there. Do you have a risk there or not? Yes. You must check that calculation again. Right? That is the economical effect. The interest rate again rising rapidly. Nowadays, the normal interest rate for leasing nearly 18% in Sri Lanka. Right? When interest rate increasing, what happened to the financial instrument? The fair value of the financial instrument will decrease, because most of the financial instrument you are value at its fair value. When you don't have active market, you have to discount their future cash flows, right? You can get the fair value by discounting their future cash flows. Now you have to discount based on the prevailing market interest rate most of the time. When you are going to discount, what is the rate? 18%. Therefore, always, do you have a fair value gain or loss? You have a loss. Now there is a risk of management may inappropriately calculate it. Inappropriate rate may be used. Got it? Therefore, you must check twice a time on the presentation of financial instrument in the financial statement. Clear? That's how you will identify the effect. Okay. Internal example. Here, the financial statement, PPE notes shows you have more additions during the year. Right? Clear? Now, recap your knowledge in KE4. In PPE addition, what is the major document company should have? Tell me. What is the document company should have? They should maintain capital expenditure budget. It's normally prepared for maximum of 5 years. And it should be updated year by year. And board of directors should be approved that capital expenditures. Therefore, any addition should be aligned with the capex budget. You know there is the internal control, accepted internal control. Now you saw they have more additions during the year. There may be a risk. Without having any approval, proper approval, they may purchase PPE into the business. Clear? Take procurement. In the procurement system, once you receive the goods and once you check and finalize, you should raise a GRN and send it to the supplier as well as the accounts division. Then what is the requirement? Should be fulfilled by the account division before made payment. They should compare at least GRN and the invoice sent by the supplier. There may be a risk. The account division may pay without comparison. Therefore, you must check. What is you must check? So, sample payment vouchers, it is respective GRN. Got it? That's how you must understand, you must identify the areas to be audited. Clear? Right. Now the recap, the time to recap what we discussed up to now. Once you receive the financial statement, which approach we are going to apply? So, now your time. Which method we are going to apply? Risk-based approach. What is risk-based approach? We are not going to audit entire financial statement, entire transactions or events. We will identify risky areas and audit on that. Okay? Now what is the next task to you? How we can identify risky areas. Risky areas means the areas which include possible fraud and errors. Material misstatements. Right? How you can identify? You have 3 methods. What are the 3 methods? Number 1, analyze already received financial data. How you can analyze? Trend analysis, ratio analysis, comparison. That's called analytical review. From that point, you can understand what are the areas. What is the second point? Analyzing the environment that financial statement created, transaction created, that environment called internal control system. To analyze internal control system, what we call? Test of control. That's a part of risk assessment, right? What is the third, number 3? Analyzing external environment. External environment can be divided into 2, industry and the macro environment. Both environment you have major influences to the business activities. Therefore, you must analyze external environment to identify risky areas. It's a major part of the risk assessment. Right. Once you analyze, you will understand what are the risky areas in the external environment as well as the internal environment. If I go back to business value creation or strategic management, before making strategies, what is the first activity as a manager? Do you have knowledge of strategic management? Do you have that knowledge? When you formulating strategies for a business, what is the first task as a strategic manager? You must understand what is the vision of the business, where they need to go, who they need to be. Then you must analyze their mission, what they are going to do to achieve that point. and major part is you must analyze the business environment. That's a major part of the strategic management. Right. Business environment analysis. When you take the business, you have two environments. What are two environments? Internal and external. By analyzing internal environment, you will understand what are the strengths and weaknesses you have as an organization. Got it? By analyzing external environment, you will understand what are the opportunities you have and what threats will come to the business from external environment. Therefore, analysis of business environment we call that's a SWOT analysis. Clear? SWOT analysis is not a single technique. One night you can't do a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is the result of other analysis. I will tell. To analyze internal environment in management, you have what the technique you have? 4 Porter's, 5 forces, Porter's value chain analysis. Remember, to analyze the internal environment, you can use Porter's value chain analysis. These are the tools. Then to analyze external environment, you have two external environments, macro and micro. To analyze micro environment, what is the technique you have? 5 forces analysis. Got it? To analyze macro environment, what is the technique you have? Pestle analysis. Then through pestle analysis and 5 forces analysis, you will understand what are the opportunities and threats you have. Remember, through the analysis of internal environment, example value chain analysis, you will understand what are the strengths and weaknesses. Right? Now, as the auditor of the organization, risk is not the strength. Risk is not the strength. Risk is the weakness you have, because due to the weakness, possible fraud and errors may be included. From the internal and external environment, risk is not the opportunity you have. What is the risk? The threats you have. The technological changes is the threat. Foreign exchange fluctuation is the threat. Interest rate hike is the threat. Those are the causes that create possible misstatement in the financial statement. Therefore, by doing this test of control and risk assessment, what you are going to identify? Internal weaknesses and external threats. Got it? Right. Can I erase this? Do you need time to write down? Okay, take this. Okay. Right, back to the lesson. We was in the strategic management. Now, to analyze external, we are doing risk assessment, major part of the risk assessment. To analyze the internal environment, we will do test of control. Then you should have a result on that testings. You have a result. Once you did this analysis, you have a result. To this analysis, you have a result. What is the result? You will identify two things, that is threats and weaknesses. Internal weaknesses, that's called what is? Control risk weaknesses, right? Control risk. Especially threats coming out of the end business, inherent risk, because you cannot control those risks. Those are coming from the outside, inherent risk. Actually, this is not the definition I am talking, right? I am trying to give what is this, right? Inherent risk. According in the definition wise, control risk is, right, the company having controls but it is not properly working. Inherent risk means company doesn't have any control, therefore risk will arise. Basically, why you don't have controls? Because it is come from the outside. You can't. Can you control exchange rate fluctuation, interest rate fluctuations? Can't. That's inherent in the company, right? But internal controls, control risk you can control. That's why we call that is control risk, right? Now, you will understand how much the control risk you have, how much the inherent risk you have. Up to the extent of these two risks, you will have possible material misstatement in the financial statement. Got it? Therefore, to make possible material misstatements in the financial statements, these are the cause roots, root cause, right? If company having some extent of control risk and inherent risk, financial statement may include possible material misstatements. Clear? Therefore, you must carry out your evidence gathering process on those areas you identify. Then what you are going to do? You are going to perform evidence gathering process on those areas. Gathering evidence on those area called substantive procedures. Got it? Gathering evidence on figures and the transactions balances called substantive procedures, right? That's why you called to gather evidence in an audit. You have three methods: risk assessment, test of control, substantive procedures. Clear? Now look at the interesting story. You have analyzed internal environment and identified control risk. You have analyzed external environment and identified how much the inherent risk. Based on that, you have assessed possible material misstatement in the financial statement, and you are going to plan your substantive procedures on that. If you don't have proper plan, can you detect fraud and errors? Can't. If you cannot properly plan these procedures, if you can't properly identify control risk and inherent risk as well as possible material misstatement in the financial statement, we call you have what is detection risk. What is detection risk? Auditor may unable to detect fraud and errors. Why you can't identify fraud and errors in the financial statement? Because you don't have proper plan there. When you don't have proper plan there, what is don't have proper plan there? You didn't identify areas which include material misstatement. Without identification of these points, if you plan your substantive procedures, can you plan it properly? Can't. Clear? Therefore, to reduce your detection risk as much as possible. What you have to do? You have to properly plan your process. You have to properly conduct your test of control, risk assessment, and identification of control risk and inherent risk. Clear? Right. If you properly identify these risks, your detection risk, what happen? May reduce. Look at here. If you believe company have more, look at this arrows. If you believe company have more inherent risk and control risk, you will conclude company having more material misstatements in the financial statement. Therefore, auditor will believe we must increase our substantive procedures on that. Through that, we can reduce our detection risk. Therefore, finally, we can express better opinion. Here you have audit opinion, finally this process. Clear? If you analyze their control risk and inherent risk is high, you will conclude their possible material misstatement in the financial statement will high. Therefore, you will plan more substantive procedures. Through that, you will reduce your detection risk. That means you are going to detect most of the fraud and errors. Through that, you can make an appropriate opinion. Right? If you can make appropriate opinion, you can reduce your which risk? Finally, audit risk. Right? Okay. From the beginning again. Let's read it again. Auditor will, ready? Auditor will assume, based on his testing and assessments, their control risk and inherent risk is high in specific areas. Therefore, on those areas, he will conclude possible material misstatement may be included. Therefore, he will believe he need to carry out more substantive procedures on those areas. Through that, he will believe he can reduce detection risk and he can make appropriate opinion, that is, they can reduce their audit risk. What is audit risk? Auditor may provide inappropriate opinion. That is audit risk. If auditor provide inappropriate opinion, when financial statement not give true and fair view, auditor will say it is true and fair view. That is the inappropriate opinion. Through this process, auditor can reduce his audit risk. Got it? Am I correct? Any argument or anything you can raise now? Any question? Now, on this board, this is the entire audit. Right? During this syllabus, you must learn how to carry out this entire process. I will tell again. Up to this point, you have audit planning. Substantive procedures means you are gathering evidence, and making the opinion means conclusion stage. This is the audit. Right? Take this entire picture now. You must learn how to carry out this process properly. To carry out this process properly, you should have the knowledge of accounting standard, code of ethics, corporate governance, everything around this board. Without code of ethics, best practices, you cannot do this. Therefore, in your syllabus, you have code of ethics. You should have a knowledge of accounting standard, company act, corporate governance, everything, SEC guidelines, everything to carry out this process. Those are in your syllabus. Clear? But auditing is this. Okay? Right. Take this entire picture now. This is 2016 June KB4 paper. Okay. Right? Question number 6. Normally question number 6 is the audit planning question. Okay. Audit planning question. Now, in the audit planning question is a, now look at the explanation you have in the first paragraph. You have the explanation regarding the company and the industry. Then you have explanation about their purchasing system. This is their purchasing system. Explanation of purchasing system. Now this is the financials. Got it? That is, you have both financial figures, information about internal environment, as well as the information about the industry. Okay? Right. You have code of ethics questions also, because to carry out an audit, you should have code of ethics knowledge. Now I am not going to talk about it. Later on I will discuss that part. I am going to discuss about part D and E, the major question of this. Both questions will bring you 8 marks. Read part D properly. Based on the financial and non-financial information given, got it? They have provided 3 informations there. What are the 3 information provided? Financial figures, internal control information, and the company information. Based on the financial and non-financial information given in the scenario, assess 4 possible risk area which require for the audit work. Clear? Simple. What you have to do? To identify this 4 area, you have to do 3 things. What are the 3 things? Analytical review, test of control, and risk assessment. Right? Now, for example, I am not going to do this question today, but I need to tell you what is the examiner expect. Very simple thing. By analyzing this financial data only, you can write down more area. For example, you can see revenue dramatically increase. Yes or not? Yes. You don't have other income in the financial statement. That is, the source that create other income may be disposed this year. Right? Then there is a risk of selling consideration, whether they properly collected and accounted for. Right? Financial figures, just analysis. I am not calculating here, but you need to calculate ratio and everything. But just looking on that. Another thing, look at administration expenses. Nearly 100% increase. Can you expect? Administration expenses normally changing with item, with sales or the structure of the organization. Structure of the organization. If they have structure of the organization, you can accept, but now the information now you have available, you cannot accept that. Abnormal change there. Clear? Then take the balance sheet. Here you have a major capital work in progress, ongoing constructions. Right? I will explain how to write down that. You don't have short-term investment, that why you don't have other income. Stock reduced. Debtors dramatically increased. Then you may have more bad debt and provisions, but management may not be identified those items in the financial statements. Then related party balances. Right? These are the just analysis of financial information. And take the other figures also, and you have to write down 4 areas which include risk. To practice this, I have this question. This is Write down. You must practice these questions, right? I think this is 2016 June or 15 December. Is the paper? June 2016 ACCA F8. Right? Practice this question. It is easy when compared to the business level papers. These are easy papers, but you can take an idea on that. Right? 16 June paper. Which question I have selected? I think this. Yes, this is the question. What they ask? Read the question. Describe 6 audit risk. Got the word audit risk, right? And explain the auditor's response to each risk. What is the action you are going to take on that? You must explain. In planning the audit of Aquamarine company, right? Now, on the board, in the question, what they are asking? What they are asking? Audit risk. Audit risk means what? Where auditor can make an inappropriate opinion. Why auditor can make an inappropriate opinion? If there is control risk and inherent risk, as well as if there is detection risk. Got it? Therefore, by reading this entire explanation, you must understand not the audit risk. What you must understand? There are control risk and inherent risk, as well as the detection risk. This will be the answer for audit risk. Got it? Is it clear? Therefore, I can say like this. I think now you have this picture with you. Audit risk. Examiner asking audit risk. 6 audit risk there. Audit risk can arise due to 2 reasons. Number 1, due to material misstatements in the financial statements, and auditor cannot detect those misstatements. Clear? Why material misstatements arise in financial statement? Due to control risk and inherent risk. Clear? Now, examiner asks, what are the audit risks? You must find what are the control, inherent and detection risk there. That is the answer. Clear? Right. Now shall we read the question? Now while you reading, you can say this is a risk, this is a risk, this is a risk. Clear? Okay. You are an audit supervisor of Amethyst and Company and are currently planning the audit of your client Aquamarine Company, which manufactures elevators. Its year end 31st July 2016 and the forecast profit before tax is 15.2. Why they are providing profit before tax? Because you must understand what are the material misstatements in the financial statement. To check the materiality, you need to compare those figures with the profit or total assets. That's why you have profits, right? Then you must justify with the calculation it is material or not, right? The company undertakes continuous production in its factory. Got it? Now while reading, you must imagine what is. What can be the control weaknesses? What are the inherent risks they are having? What are the areas auditor cannot check? Detection risk. Clear? Right. The company undertakes continuous production in its factory. Therefore, at the year end, it is anticipated that work in progress will be approximately $950,000. In order to improve the manufacturing process, Aquamarine placed an order in April for $720,000 of new plant and machinery. 1/3 of this order was received in May, with the remainder expected to be delivered by supplier in late July or early August. Do you have risk there or not? Yes, more risks you have. Number one, you have continuous manufacturing process. Therefore, you have a risk of calculating closing stock. While staff taking their stock count, you have movements in the stores, in and out. Got it? Auditing is an art. It's an art. Right? It's just like art. It's a passion. It should be developed within yourself. I can't develop. I can't plant in you. You must plant within you. Right? But you can develop, right, by listening carefully. Now, look how I look at on that. Company having, in the first sentence, company having continuous production. There is a risk. Risk is, while companies, employees or any other party taking closing inventory count, they may have stock movements, both raw material and finished goods. Therefore, there is a risk of stock over calculation or under calculation. Is it clear? That's the first point. Right? Second, company having 950,000 worth work in progress at the year end. 950 divided by 15,200. Am I correct? 950 is in 1000 work in progress. Okay? Your total profit recorded in the draft financial statement was in 1000, 15,200. Am I correct? As a percentage, 950 nearly more than 5% of the net profit. Am I correct? Tell me. More than 5%. Right. Is it material or not? Material. Right? If it is more than 5% of the net profit, material. Clear? Now, you have material work in progress in the financial statement. If company don't have proper skills to manage or calculate the value of work in progress value may be over or understated. Clear? If management make any mistake the calculation or identification of cost stages, you know process costing, how to calculate the value of work in progress, right? You know, in the process costing. Then when if they make a mistake there, your work in progress may overstated or understated because they are calculating highly technical items, elevators. Right? You should have proper technical knowledge to calculate the work in progress. Second point. 3. They have purchased 720,000 of property, plant and equipment. They ordered, not purchased. They ordered during the year. It's also more than 5% of their, or nearly 5% of their net profit. Right? Simply. This is material to the financial statement. The risk is they have ordered end of the financial year, and part will be received during the financial year, and other balance will be received end of the financial year or next year. Got it? What is the risk? The first risk, company may capitalize revenue expenses also with the asset, or company may charge some part of the capital expenses to the P&L. Got it? Because in the basic accounting, capital expenditure should be capitalized, revenue expenditure should be charged into P&L. Is it clear? Now, risk is at the purchase of PPE, you may capitalize some part of revenue expenses, or you may charge some part of capital expenses into the P&L. First risk. Second risk, you may identify entire PPE during the current financial year without receiving entire PPEs. Got it? Or while you received, you may receive entire PPE during this year, but you may not accounted for it. Clear? This goes to overstated or understated your total assets. Is it clear? Because you will receive part of the PPE earlier, end of this year or early of next year. Sometimes it may be received, but you not accounted. Sometimes it is not received, you may accounted. Clear? That's the risk. Okay. Next paragraph. Look how I creating risk there. Right? Therefore, to identify fraud and error, you should have a mindset bigger than the fraudster. Otherwise, you can't understand fraudster. To understand and identify any fraud or fraudster, you should have a mindset and skills bigger than him. That means you should be a better fraudster. Clear? That's a skill you must develop. But don't do it, right? That is not, don't do fraud and errors, but you must detect it. Second paragraph. At the beginning of the year, Aquamarine purchased a patent of 1.3 million, which gives them the exclusive right to manufacture specialized elevator equipment for 5 years. For 5 years. I will read it again. I think you didn't touch still. The paragraph is, beginning of the year, they have purchased a patent 1.3 million. It is so material and it has only 5 years. Now I will tell what is the risk. Company has purchased an intangible asset at 1.3 million. Got it? And it is only for 5 years. According to LKS 30, nice. You are just like policemen. Going to handle the rules, but without having that rule in plant with you. Policemen doing like this. They are running on the way without helmets and everything. They are crossing every things. No rule there. But if we do it, so you have to face so many problems. Don't do like this. You must apply rules and regulation. You must advise on that, having proper knowledge on that. Tell me, what is the intangible asset standard? LKS 38. Oh, sure. Right. I will accept. Check it, right? According to LKS 38, intangible asset having finite lifetime should be amortized over its expected lifetime. This patent right is an intangible asset and it should be amortized over 5 years. The risk is management may not identify amortization expenses for the current year. And each year end, it should be conducted an impairment test on that. Management may not be carried out on that. What is now we are writing? Auditing or accounting? Accounting. That's why I told you must need what is? Accounting knowledge, corporate governance knowledge, SEC guidelines, everything. Right? ඒකයි මම ඔයාලට කිව්වේ auditing කියන්නේ පුතේ කලාවක්. Right? ඒක ඔයාලා තුල ඩෙවලොප් වෙන්න ඕන දෙයක් නිසා. මට බලෙන් දෙන්න බෑ. දැන් සුපර්ස්ටාර් එකේ සින්දු කියන අය ඉන්නවනේ. බලෙන්ද සින්දු කියවන්නේ මේ මිනිස්සු ආසාවෙන්ද සින්දු කියන්නේ. ආසාවෙන්. කලාවක් නේ. විගණනය කියන්නේත් කලාවක්. Right? It should be planned by yourself. Right? Within your soul. I can support and guide you, but you must develop it. Okay. Right. Now next. Aquamarine borrowed. Sorry, in order to finance this purchase, Aquamarine borrowed 1.2 million of bank loan, which is repayable over 5 years. Next risk. When you have a bank loan to purchase a fixed asset, according to the borrowing cost, you must capitalize the interest paid on that if that asset is a qualifying asset. But buying a patent right is not a qualifying asset, but company may capitalize interest expenses with the patent right. Got it? I will tell again. According to the borrowing cost standard, interest should be capitalized with the asset if that asset is an qualifying asset. But buying a patent right is not a qualifying asset. To become an qualifying asset, it should be taken substantial period of time for intended use or sale. Now I am talking not auditing, I am talking about accounting. Right? You must understand what you have to fulfill, what you have to develop, right? Okay. Patent right is a purchase intangible asset, it is not an qualifying asset. But company may capitalize interest with the asset, that's the risk. Other risk. Loan more than 1 year should be classified between current and non-current liabilities separately. Current portion and non-current portion. Company may not capitalize like this. Company may not present it like this. That's the other risk. Okay. That's how you have to explain. Next paragraph. In January 2016, Aquamarine outsourced its payroll process to external service organization, Coral Payroll Company. Coral handles all elements of payroll cycle and sends monthly report of Aquamarine detailing the payroll cost. Aquamarine ran its own payroll at 31st December 2015, at which point record was transferred over to Coral. They outsource their payroll system. Therefore, you have a detection risk because you have to audit the system carried out by a third party. You have a limitation there. You cannot visit there. You cannot raise question on them. Clear? Therefore, you have a detection risk there. In other side, you will run the payroll system in your accounting system. When you are feeding information to the system, inaccurate and incomplete information may be processed. Clear? Therefore, real information included in the payroll system may not be presented in the financial statements. Okay? Because you have a manual system to feed those information into the system from Coral. You are getting from Coral and entered into a system. Right? Next paragraph. The company has a policy of revaluing land and building, and the finance director has announced that all land and buildings will be revalued at the year end. During the review of the management account for the month of May 2016, you have noticed that receivables have increased significantly. I told you in the CA paper, remember that CA paper also receivables has increased rapidly, which point the record, increased significantly on the previous year against May 2015. First thing, revaluation of land and building. According to LK 16, each year end company must assess their expected lifetime. According to that, company can revalue their land and building, it's okay with this standard. The risk is, once you revalue the asset, entire class of assets should be revalued. And if there is a revaluation loss, it should be charged into P&L. If there is a revaluation surplus, in the very first time, should be recognized in other comprehensive income, through other comprehensive income to the changes in equity. The company may not be properly carried out this accounting treatment. That's the risk. Got it? Other one, they have to use an expert to do that. The competencies, skills of the expert, independent of the expert, may in a risk. Clear? He may be revalued, right, as more favorable for the business. It may not a independent revaluation. Those are the risks. In other case, debtors has increased significantly. Then management may not properly identify bad debts and doubtful debt provision. Clear? Finally, the finance director has informed you that company is planning to make approximately 65 employees redundant after the year end. No decision has been made as to when this will be announced, but it is like to be prior to the year end. When you are going to make an employee redundant, you must pay their claims. Clear? Therefore, if it is probable, you must make a provision in the financial statement. If it is not probable, you must include at least a note as contingent liability. Company may not disclose like this. That's all. There are only 6. I told you 12. Right? Tomorrow, I will take more questions in ACC and discuss with you. See you again. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, sorry, Monday evening. Thank you.